Another crypto game shutting down. Who could have guessed that that would happen?
On God's green earth have you burnt through 200 million, at least, in 3 years on this abomination? Ladies and gents, we are back today with another video, and this is one that kind of excites me a little bit. We're going to have to dive into this because I don't want to sound like an all-seeing eye, an oracle.
What? Crypto MMORPG Emma Sword shuts down despite $203 million. Land pledge. What? I'm not sure what that actually means. Is that land, in the real world, or is it in the game? Did players pledge to buy land in the game for this amount of money? Because if so, they are stupid. Why would you do that? Makes no sense. But I guess he will get into that. So let's continue.
But I've got to be honest, the writing was on the wall with this one, and this is such a... This was always going to happen. We all knew it. Crypto MMORPG
Yes.
Ember Sword shuts down despite $203 million land pledge. Now, if the name rings a bell, it's most likely because you watch this channel, and I have covered this in the past.
I have never heard of this. At least I can't remember it.
In fact, when did I cover this? Let me check. So it was 3 years ago that I covered this, and obviously,
I might have heard of it. I just don't remember.
where do we even start with it? Where do we even start? Essentially, they were selling digital land. Again, this seems to be the biggest crypto trend. Selling non-existent land for real-life money that goes through their fake money.
Earth 2? Someone? Do you guys remember Earth 2? Is that thing still around? Let's see. Is Earth 2 still around? Update on Earth 2 2.0. Oh, February 28. The Earth 2 blah blah space mission entered phase B of its detailed mission design study on January. Okay, it seems like Earth 2 is still around. Back to the video.
Right? Typical crypto crap. And obviously, people were trying to sell digital houses for 800k, more than an actual real.
Wow. Why? 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 Would you spend 800k on a house in a game? If you could buy a real house for the money, even for less, and live there. What are people doing? What are these people thinking? All right, they aren't. This happens when people have more money than brain cells.
Real life house in the UK, just about at this moment in time. We're not going to get into that though. And it was another one of those games where everything was kind of promised, but the things that were being shown off didn't even really reflect what was promised.
I mean like every game from how are they called again? The guys that made Fallout and this space game that was not that great. These guys and the others, Blizzard. Someone remembering Blizzard? Uh, mm, what else? How about Ubisoft? How are they doing? Oh, not so great.
And all of that aside, it was just I always use this term, it was a nothing burger of a game. It was a kind of Fortnite graphics, but
Yeah.
more chibi style
Oh,
Diablo, but with none of the things that people enjoy about Diablo.
by the way, I actually like the Fortnite graphics. I think the Fortnite graphics, and the same goes for Overwatch, they are a great mix in between, actual comic and anime graphics and real life looking graphics like in the Tomb Raider games, and this. Oh yeah, we look so realistic. It's the right amount of in between, which makes it intriguing, at least to me. I like that style. I really do. But that might be also for other you know, uh, things to watch. If you get what I mean, you get it. If you watch this video, you very likely get it. And yeah, I really like that. I'm actually not a fan anymore of games going, oh yeah, we are super realistic, because the most games that do that, they go into the uncanny valley and look less realistic. And then we had this extremely realistic looking Unreal Engine 5 game, where every body cam, it was called, I think. That game looks great. Now that game is realistic looking, made well. At least in my opinion, that game looks very well. Most likely because they took actual photographs and made a game out of it. It's that simple. Not that, by the way, that all taking photographs of sides of building and putting that into games in the 90s. That's what people done. Of course, it didn't really look like that because technical limitations, but that's around forever. It's just better now.
So essentially, the game was destined for the dumpster from day one for any gamer. And we
Of
keep
course.
seeing this happen time and time again, and it just never changes. There are only three things guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and the fact that a crypto game will inevitably flop and fall on its face.
I think I have never heard of any crypto or NFT game that was a success. Ever. Ever. And I think I never will. And I'm not surprised about that at all. Because if you look at these games, they are bad games. They are literally all about money and no gameplay. Now you can argue that, AAA games these days are kind of the same. Cutscenes everywhere. And gameplay is, the same as it was 10, 15 years ago. It's always the same gameplay, which personally I really don't like. I really hate that. I mean, the last triple A game I bought was Rise of the Tomb Raider. And that game is 10 years old. So, you know, if you know, you know.
And that is what's happened here. So let's dive into this and see what's gone wrong with this, and see how with $200 million they've managed to not make a game that is fundamentally just bad. First of all though, a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Into the AM, and today they want me to tell you about their amazing spring collection and their button-up shirts. These beautifully designed shirts are made of lightweight premium performance fabric with 4-way stretch, a relaxed fit, and UPF 30 sun protection. The material is quick drying and moisture wicking, so no more being sweaty in the sun. I've been wearing Into the AM's clothing in most of my videos for the last year plus now, and honestly, I can't say enough good words about it. The print quality is fantastic, and it stays exactly the way it was when you bought it after however many washes it goes through. So if design shirts are your sort of thing, click my link down in the description below to grab some for yourself. And if shirts aren't your sort of thing, they also make these incredibly designed t-shirts with incredibly premium quality, fantastic stretch, beautiful fit. So if that's more your style, you can also grab those from Into the AM as well. And with that said, without further ado, let's get back to the video. So,
Personally, I prefer merino wool shirts. They're incredible. I have 2 t-shirts made from merino wool. Oh, it's amazing. It's like not wearing anything, which feels great if you're out in the sun. It's just great. Awesome.
the article posted by PC Games, they go into the fact that this is now done. Dunzo. No more. Crypto. Gone. People. Lost. Crypto bros. Crying. Blockchain MMORPG Ember Sword has been shut down by its creator several years after it received more than $200 million in pledges for virtual plots of land. To clarify, this is just the money that came from people putting in money for the land, buying virtual real estate, as they call it. This
Oh
doesn't
my
include
God.
any money that they would have got from outside investors or anything else. I don't know if they did. I don't know how much that would be, but this doesn't include that. This is just the players putting in money to buy land that would eventually be part of this game.
And knowing how greedy investors are, the 200 million, add another 50. That's probably realistic. Or maybe not. I mean, knowing the greed of the people, it is realistic. That this might be actually 250 million instead of only the 200 from the players. Which is a lot. This is so much money. Can you imagine what you could do with that money in the real world? How many companies you could just build up? Jesus Christ. But of course, then you would need to hire people and, actually have work done instead of just putting money into something and then hoping it makes money.
Meaning, they haven't had to sell or fork over any digital costly goods for this 200 million. They just took it with the promise of giving land to the people when the game is real, when it's, realized. And we all knew it never would be. I explicitly said that in my last video. This is not going to happen. This is vaporware. It's another scam. And here we are. After it received more than $200 million in pledges for virtual land plots, the multiplayer game, which promised a world filled with PvE and PvP activities featuring no pay to win, and employed its own cryptocurrency token as a way to trade for cosmetic items.
Did they say no pay to win? You can literally buy land in the game. How is that not pay to win? Well, if it doesn't have any impact on, on a PvP and PvE, but yeah, this is so dumb.
That were treated as NFTs has now been taken offline. The upcoming MMORPG made use of its own Ember tokens on the Ethereum blockchain, used as a way to trade a range of land, premium cosmetics and emotes, and collectible items. In particular, it would allow players to buy and own a piece of land that they could theoretically trade in the future.
Oh.
In August 2021, Ember Sword developers Brightstar Studios saw a collective 203 million pledged in a virtual land sale that had community applications made for nearly 35,000 plots. Early access then began in November 2024. And this is something that I really, really want to highlight. Have you noticed, if these games don't just run day one, after funding, they always run within a year of their early access coming out. They always pull the plug and they're like, no, we're donezo. And I've got to be honest, the reason for it is quite plain and simple. It really is. They realise that all these people who've bought in to try and make a cool penny off of the next fool that wants to come along and hold the hot potato don't want to play the game.
Of course not.
It's shit. Also,
No actual gamer wants these games. Like that's why all of them fail. No one wants these games because the gameplay is ass, and the only people spending money in this are investors and wannabe investors. That's all this is. Always has been. It's a well, this isn't magic. It's just how it is. It's like building a football stadium where the football field is full of spikes that you can buy for whatever reason. No one that's interested in playing football or watching football would go there. Why? But investors would go there. Oh, yeah, making money. Makes us the things make no sense. That's what I want to say. These things all make no sense to people who actually want games. It's all nothingness meant to create money. Can you say that that way? I think. Because buying land in a game that doesn't even exist yet, that's not out. And for money, that's so much money that you could do more with that in real life. Like if I had 100, if I had just, I mean, they said one plot of land 800,000 or one building. If I had 500,000, I would leave the country, buy a house and property, build up a company there. That's what I would do with the money. Easy. It's not even hard. I have the money. Even if I don't know yet what kind of company, I will figure that out when I'm in my country of destination. That's not the problem. But this is, why would you spend this much money on stuff like that? And players look at that and they know this is a scam because it's very obviously a scam. It's so obvious that everyone that thinks about it sees it. And then you have the people that don't think about it and invest $800,000 in it, and then surprised when the money is gone and the game too, and then they complain.
the people that they're hoping to sell the land to, the gamers that they're going to get in, don't want to play. Because why would you want to play? And I mean, let's just look at this trailer. Why would you want to play this when you could play this anywhere else? Oh my God, why is the res so low on this?
That doesn't even look good. That doesn't even look. I don't even think that looks even anywhere close to Fortnite. Fortnite looks way better. I mean, this looks like a free to play kids game. This is what I would expect of a free to play game for children. This is horrendous. Why does this even? Of course, to make money.
It's 1080p. It's definitely not. But why would you want to play this when you could play I mean, let's be real, right? Let's
Anything
skip
else?
back to some UI elements here. It's
With-
all just asset packs. And I don't care what people say about, like this.
If these are all asset packs, I'm not surprised. I personally wouldn't expect much more than that. I mean, why would I? I mean, make it as cheap as possible, which means you have at max one developer. Which probably isn't really a developer, it's just a dude that knows a little bit about the engine and can implement the asset packs. Which most likely even I can do after figuring it out for a couple of hours. It's not that hard. So you would have someone like that, and probably people in marketing people that sell all that stuff. One or two of them, and yeah, then you become millionaires. It's that easy.
The UI and everything. People say, oh, asset packs are fine. And I agree. People have got it very warped that I think asset packs are not okay.
Asset packs are completely fine. I know game Neuter. No, I think it's called Neuter. The complete game is asset sets made by one guy, a programmer. The game, not the asset sets. He bought the asset sets and made a great game out of them. All from pre-made assets. And no one is complaining, to my knowledge. And why would they? The game is good. If the game is actually good, no one really cares that it's all bought assets. As long as the game is good. That's the important thing. If the game has to be good. If that is the case, then anything else is second. And not even close to being first.
That is what they're there for. They are there to speed up development and prototyping. If a game comes out with it and it's an indie game on an extremely low budget, asset packs are totally okay. But when you have taken $200 million and this is what you have to offer, like I can tell you now,
Yeah.
most of these are Cinti asset packs that have been jumbled together. Why do I know this? Because I own a lot of Cinti asset packs for grey boxing, for projects.
Of course.
And occasionally there's some assets in there that I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how I would have made that. I'm just going to use it. $200 million, I need to remind you. The UI is just so bare bones, Billy bollocks. There's nothing here.
One thing that, if you look at that should come into your mind, $200 million, and they didn't have money for an artist to make the menu look better. 200 million. Not one artist was hired to make the menus look better. That's how you know it's a scam. If they just take the basic things and don't improve on them at all.
The minimap is again just a plugin that's chucked in. There's no style to it. It's just a hodgepodge.
Yeah, nothing Gear style.
I know. This is a style that some people are like, yeah, no, the gameplay's good, so I'm okay with this style. But the problem is, no one is going to play this if it's got crypto involved. And we see this like an endless, like cyclical movement, right? The people buying in are touting that they're going to play this for the rest of their lives because, my God, such good money opportunities.
Yeah, these people are retarded. They are retarded, but they are also lying. You always have to think, what are people getting out of this? The people who say, oh, they will play this their entire life. That's the people that have invested money into it. And that want to make money out of it. Of course, they would say that. They are just lying. They want they want that you play the game and spend money in the game so they can make money from you. And this is very obviously not a game that you can play forever. Forever games are single player games. The only games you can play forever are single player games. Why? Because they run on your machine. The servers never get shut down. Like when people say WoW is their forever game, what when the servers getting shut down? Because don't get me wrong, the servers will get shut down somewhere in the future. I can guarantee you, because World of Warcraft is losing players. They are. With every expansion, they lose players. They might get some people back at the beginning, but overall, they are continuously bleeding out players. How do I know it? Because people I know stop playing the game. Me too. I don't play WoW anymore. My favorite WoW, anyways, was Vanilla and the Burning Crusade. That's my era that I really liked. Played the most there. I really loved it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If Blizzard would bring out, Vanilla WoW up into Wrath as single player game, I would play that. I I played Vanilla WoW and so on mostly alone. Leveling was always alone. I got into the dungeons, sure, but that's it. I mean, you can you can make the dungeons so that you can do them alone. It's not that hard. It's just an ARPG then. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I would love a single player World of Warcraft. Like vanilla. Not what we have now. That retail WoW is trash. I played through the story at the beginning when the last expansion came out, the War Within, and yeah, one weekend and I had it done with one character. Well, I hit max level and on one weekend, and I was basically done. It's not great now. It's I'm so bored of that game. Okay, I'm on a tangent. Back to the video.
And then they realise, actually, I'm not going to make any money by playing this. I've already bought the land. I'm just going to sell it on to the next greater fool. So even the people who have funded the game don't want to play the game. So then the developers get it in early access. They're all hyped up for these, these players that have put $200 million in to come and play it, get an ecosystem going in the game, get a community rolling to bring in the gamers. And it's a barren wasteland. There's no one there. The lights are on, but no one's home. It's always really hard to pinpoint with crypto games what in particular was the failure. And that's because it's usually a combination. And
Did you see how ugly this look? This looks so unappealing.
Wasteland. There's no one there. The lights are on, but no one's home. It's always
Look at that. That looks horrible.
really hard to pinpoint.
Oh my god, that's so ugly. I just these trees look like a mess. This just looks like a mess. This is horrible.
With crypto games, what in particular was the failure? And that's because it's usually a combination and amalgamation of everything. There's just really nothing of interest here. And anything here that people might be interested in, there are non-crypto versions of it. So people can just play this anywhere, and people are already today playing it in other places. So this brings us to their website. Because obviously the game's donezo. So the website has now got an update. So let's see what they have to say about this, see if they shed any light on this. Hi everyone, this is one of the hardest announcements we've had to make. Back in December, we shared how we were fighting to keep Ember Sword moving forward despite the challenges. And this is going to be interesting to see what these challenges are, because the money was not a challenge. They have the money.
They do.
Many of you have been patiently waiting for an update, and whilst this isn't the news we hope to deliver, it's important that we share it now. Our passion for MMOs runs deep. We've spent our lives playing, building, and dreaming about worlds where strangers become friends. Weird way to
Do
put
you?
it. Where effort and skill are rewarded, and where stories come alive through shared experiences. We also believe, still deeply, that blockchain technology has the potential to reshape these worlds for the better and give players real ownership, agency, and value for their time.
That's bullshit. They're talking out of their ass. This is dumb. This is PR talk. This is... How... What does it bring for the players? Nothing! It brings nothing to the players. If the servers shut down, it's gone. Just like here, 203 million. All gone.
This is such a non-argument, and I just absolutely hate seeing it come up. The ownership thing. Right, people say, well, you don't own your items in RuneScape. You don't own them in World of Warcraft.
You're right.
They're stored on a server and they can be changed at any time.
Yes.
Right. But they're not. They're just not. That's not what happens. The game companies aren't there trying to screw you over and saying, oh, your Armadil God Sword, guess what? It's Bronze Dagger now, bitch.
That's correct. They don't do that. But when the server's shut down, it's gone. That's still the case. If the server's shut down, it's gone.
No, they're not doing that because that is fundamentally a stupid thing to do. This is proposing a solve to a problem that doesn't exist. And then they say, yeah, but you own it. Like, you do. You're the one who can transact it everywhere. Right. But you still have the same problem that when the game shuts down, and this is a prime example, like this one,
yeah,
you can't do anything with it.
Yeah, just like I said.
I mean, you can sell that land, but no one will buy it because the game doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, well, they were buying it before the game existed. Yes, but there was the promise of the game actually existing and staying around. Now that the game has existed, has failed, and no longer exists, no one is going to be speculatively buying it because it is
correct.
Permanently valueless now. But I digress. This is a problem that I see everywhere and I hate it. When we started, it was about proving that the great game design on the blockchain could work and could feel fun, fair, and rewarding. Thanks to the incredible team here and your support, we got further than many ever thought we could. I don't think this is something to boast about because I think they've grossly misunderstood what people meant by how far they could get.
Remember, they didn't even have an artist to change the standard menu of the assets they bought. So what exactly did they do to make anything?
We never said they couldn't make a game. You can make a game. Anyone can make a game. There is no, oh, we don't think you can make a game. What people said is that it's fundamentally flawed because it is a blockchain game. No one's going to want to play it. It'll be dead on arrival, or it'll be cancelled or pulled or rug pulled. And here we are. It's happened. You didn't get further than anyone thought you could. You got to the finish line of where people thought you could. You've done exactly what everyone called you out for, myself included. It's not the flex they think it is to put this, but anyway. Despite strong early support, promising early access player stats, and a passionate community, no, they were passionate about the money, we were ultimately unable to secure the funding needed to continue. How on God's green earth have you burnt through 200 million, at least, in 3 years on this abomination?
And again, remember, $300 billion, at least, and they didn't have an artist to change the art of the menus. They didn't change the art of the menus, which would be something very easy to do. I would guess at least, and it's just a texture. It's just a texture that you replace the old one with. That's all it is. I guess. I guess. And they couldn't do this in 3 years and with over $200 million. So what did they do all the time?
How? Because I don't believe you have, and I would actually love to see the kind of the table of allocated money for this project, because there is no chance at all that you spent $200 million on this garbage. Most of it is templates, store-bought assets, and template project bits. You have not spent 200 million on this. I do not care what you say until you show me the figures with actual proof, but I do not believe it. And this needs to be investigated.
My guess would be they've spent whatever the assets had cost, maybe a server to run the game on, then their own payment rolls, of course. I mean, I don't know how many people worked on that project. So from the over 200 million, everyone got paid out. What of the money went actually into the game? That's the important thing we have to know, but we don't. So this is sketchy.
We explored every possible way forward, but in today's market, where even some of the most promising projects are shutting down, we couldn't find a path to keep building. Our journey and the servers will go offline. As part of this, Discord channels will also be closed to avoid confusion or scams. No, the Discord channels will be deleted to remove liability for this. For when people start digging into this and looking at, well, where has the money gone? Because it hasn't gone on this. Not all of it, there's no chance. I would be astounded if even half of that 200 million went on this.
Half? You mean 100 million? Never. Never 100 million went into that game. I would be surprised if it's 1 million. That would be high. I mean, I think I said it already 3 times. They didn't even bother to change the art of the menus in 3 years. That's the kind of people we are talking about here. So no, they did. I can guarantee you that not even 100 million. No. It's not even close. Not even barely. Not like I said, maybe a million. And even that would be. I mean, a one-person developer can do better with $1 million. And I can guarantee you that. Because we have seen it. Look at Vampire Survivors. One person. Great game. Basically made a complete genre boom. And it's still booming today. And it's great.
I don't see how it could have. There's no feasible way. This isn't the ending any of us wanted, but we wanted to sincerely thank you for being here, for believing in this vision, and for helping make Embersword something we'll never forget. Bro, the other people won't forget it either, because they've just lost all their money. Because there's nothing here about refunds, because it's NFTs and blockchain. Sucks to suck, my dude. People are just shit out of luck. Again, as always. They've just been absolutely bent over the rails, and I constantly say this, I don't feel sorry for the people getting involved in this crypto shit. Because it is, as I say, it's a tale as old as time. This 100% needs to be investigated. Because I knew they'd raised a lot of money. I didn't know it was 200 million though. So that changes everything with this. And this is the problem with all these crypto projects shutting down. and them using the in today's current market, it's paving the way for big projects that have roped in a load of money and realised we're probably not going to make any more than this, to just pull the plug and say sorry, we ran out of money. So this is only going to get more common from here on out. But anyway, ladies and gents, this was a quick one to look into today. This was a bit of a victory parade for me. I've just spent the week redoing The Office. Nothing you're going to see, but I'll chuck it on screen. Finally bought a sit-stand desk because, my God, my back is absolutely demolished from the car crash 3 years ago, and it started to catch up with me. And it
That sounds bad.
To catch up with me. So yeah, picture on the screen right now of that.
Yeah, that's a nice setup.
Ignore the wires. The cable management cover is coming later today. As always, a massive thank you to the patrons. You guys absolutely rule. Could not do this without you. And as always,
they
until
do
next
rule.
time, take care.
Okay.
How?
That was a good video. Very interesting. Callum Upton. If you like the video, subscribe, give him a like. That definitely. Yeah. It was great.